welcome to another weekly update. I hope you're doing well. A couple of things to talk about this week. The first one, kind of a real blast from the past, and this is probably the last time I'm ever going to mention it, but Skype for Business Server 2015 and 2019 are ending their support in 1 month's time. Now, this deadline has been coming for a really long time, so it is arriving October the 14th, 2025, Skype for Business Server 2015, Skype for Business Server 2019, Skype for Business 2016, and Skype for Business 2019, the two clients, they reach end of support. You should go to Microsoft Teams, according to Microsoft, or up to the Skype for Business Server subscription edition. And that's all I'm going to say about it, really. We haven't really talked about Skype for Business development for a really long time, but there was a time when that's all we talked about. And it's a special place in my heart. Anyway, if you probably already know this, or you don't care at all. I don't think there's many people left who are surprised by this. I'm just making sure. Okay, the Teams AI library, and we've talked about this before, it came into beta. It's now come into GA. So it's a fully supported way of making applications or making agents for AI agents for Copilot that you want to live in Teams. So where you want to build something that is imbued with AI, can do all the AI things, but you're not super interested in making it accessible across lots of different places, different channels. You really just want something that works in Teams. One of your options here as a sort of pro code choice is the Teams AI library. I find this a little bit confusing because it feels like there's now lots of different ways to do the same thing. How is this different from like the agent's SDK or a declarative agent? But I get it is different. It is a slightly different thing that it's offering. It's offering an SDK with a set of kind of default scaffolded options to kind of help you build agents. It also has support for building other things as well, like messaging extensions and all the rest. So this might be worth looking at. I definitely think as a developer you should understand it and just be aware of it and try it out, and then at least you know what it does. If you've been avoiding it because it's been in beta for all preview for a little while, it's now GA. Certainly for C# and JavaScript. Other stuff not so sure about, but Python I think is still in preview. But yeah, C#'s good, TypeScript's good, and Python's in preview. So that's that. Maybe take a look if you've got some time to kind of look into it. If you're already using it, then just know that it's now gone GA. If you're waiting for it to be in Python, sorry, that's still in preview for now. Okay, something slightly different, slightly outside the Microsoft 365 space, but I think still of real interest to developers, is the fact that Visual Studio, so full-fat Visual Studio, now supports MCP prompts and resources and sampling to basically make the Copilot experience there better by giving you more access to the stuff that's in your code. So there's a few different ways around this. And actually the next thing we're going to talk about is kind of related to this. But for instance, if I post, one of the examples they have is that you could install the Azure DevOps MCP server, and then your Visual Studio Copilot chat will have much more knowledge of the access to stuff in DevOps as well. And you can kind of see how that would be really interesting. For instance, you can install a Figma MCP server, and then your Copilot chat will know about your designs or whatever else it is. So this is cool. This is kind of broadening out that experience of what's possible, I suppose you'd say. And it's making Visual Studio a real kind of like developer hub, if you like, for getting development work done in an agentic way. It means that you're not having to like jump between tools all the time. And I think it's trying to remove the human from having to just do basic translation between systems, which has always been a problem. Having the human be that glue that connects together disparate systems. MCPs are a great way forward in that. They're not the first and not the only way of doing it, but they are a useful way forward. So I think this is good. It's good that Visual Studio is leaning into this because I think it's got the capability to do a really, really good job of this. So this will be a really interesting one to watch. If you're not quite there with fully embracing the MCP first world for your development, and I get that, then you might be interested in this, which is a different way of using Copilot, or just an announcement, I suppose, around the Copilot experience in Visual Studio, still in Visual Studio. And this announcement is that Visual Studio is now able to look at the output window when you're debugging. This is really interesting, and I think it's going to be really useful, because if you're stuck on a problem and you're debugging it, the answer is probably there somewhere. It's probably, it's either in the immediate window, it's in the output window. You just can't see it because you don't really know what you're looking for. And the output window can feel like looking for a needle in a haystack, right? So there's just so much data there, and it goes past so quick in such a tiny window that it's really hard to find anything at all. So I think this is cool. Giving Copilot the ability to look at the output log and say, hey, just what's going on? Like, I'm getting this problem, I'm getting this error. Have a look at the output log. Just, how does it work? So it's got the context of the output window. So I think that's really cool. I think that's really useful. I think that's one of those things that is going to be actually genuinely really interesting, right? Really useful. And it's the perfect use case of like, here's a lot of data. What's the important bit in all this data? So yeah, really excited to kind of see how that goes. All right. And then just last thing, nothing very interesting, not sort of like detailed emergency information, just a good read. And I find these types of blog posts really interesting. So the title is, it's by Scott Guthrie, who I don't think I've featured a Scott Gu blog for quite a long time. And this one is Inside the World's Most Powerful AI Data Center. And it's got lots of pretty pictures about one of the larger data centers. The blog post is announcing a new US AI data center in Wisconsin. And there's also two others that I mentioned. There's one in Norway and one in the UK. But this is a cool blog post because it kind of goes through, like how Microsoft build data centers and how data centers get built. And it's got lots of cool photos in it, like aerial shots and showing an enormous amount of cooling. There's a whole history and some information about, how you run AI infrastructure at scale. What does that look like? So each rack has got 72 NVIDIA Blackwell GPUs, delivering 1.8 terabytes of GPU to GPU bandwidth, and gives each GPU access to 14 terabytes of pooled memory. Wow. And it behaves apparently as one ginormous single accelerator rather than like lots of separate chips, which is mad. Really interesting. And again, some cool pictures. I like these pictures. I could look at them all day long. Again, more cooling. They talk a bit about cooling actually, and their closed loop liquid cooling system. And then yes, some other things in here as well. This is just a good read. There's no, like I say, no real technical information in here. But if you're looking for just something to do, in the evening or lunch break or whatever, that might be a good one. All right, I think that is everything from me. In 2 days' time, I'm going to be talking at Collab Days at Bletchley Park, the National Museum of Computing in the UK. Super important building, doesn't get enough money, but pleased to go there and speak there. It's a great place to go speak because you're surrounded by all this history. It's lovely. I'm going to be talking about building declarative agents for Microsoft 365 Copilot, showing some things and showing some, my experiences building those things, the things I've picked up and tips and tricks and all the rest of it. That should be good. There's loads of other people speaking as well. It's a really packed day of really good stuff. So if you can make it, might be a bit late now, but definitely worth trying. It's on Wednesday. At the National Museum of Computing. All right, I think that's everything for me. Whatever it is you're doing this week, have a great one. And I will speak to you again next time.